Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a little video that is a reflection of some comments and stuff and videos I've done in the past. It is tips for journaling, and it's not so much tips. Well, it's tips, but like it's what I have found useful with journaling, and this is primarily kind of like aimed at people who are using journaling either as a way of dealing with things like mental illness or stress or anxiety, or even people who are just feeling their life to be a little bit cluttered. So the first thing I'm going to say, and this goes across the board with all journaling, is be honest. Who are you writing for? And primarily, you are writing for you. If you're doing long form journaling about your life, memoirs kind of thing, perhaps you're writing for, your family down the line, if that's what you are sort of intending it to be. But for the most part, when we are journaling for ourselves, and the key is to be honest. If we're honest with ourselves, then we can actually make progress. And that goes across the board from productivity through to things like stress and anxiety. So my first tip today, outside of be honest, is to journal for clarity. Now, what I mean by that is something like a brain dump. Often we come to our best decisions or our best knowledge of what we want to do by removing the mess from around it. So being able to see clearly what we're actually wanting. And a way we can do that is by using something like a brain dump to actually really build a sense of what we want. And honest thoughts will often come out through that. So using, as I said, a brain dump for clarity so you can see more clearly what exactly you want. Perhaps you can try and remove yourself from these things. Talk about what it means for someone else, what you can do for other people, those kinds of things. This all helps us realize exactly the path we should be on. The next is to journal for things like anxiety and help us to relieve some of that stress. Now, obviously, working with a professional, getting proper help from someone who is trained in this is going to be super beneficial. And also, if you are needing it or inclined, there are medications that can assist you with this. Obviously, I don't need to tell you this. It's kind of not my place to. But always seek help if there's a problem. If you are feeling overwhelmed, there are people around, be it a friend or a professional. But something you can do at home with your journal is to journal for anxiety. And the way I like to do this is I like to focus on a single fear or anxious thought that I have. And the first thing I do is I realize if it's rational or irrational. If it's rational, like, someone breaking into my car, then I can do things to stop that anxiety. I can make sure the car is locked. I can park it securely, all of those kinds of things. If it's something irrational, like the sun exploding and, like all life being wiped out, then I can start to process why I'm having that fear. And by doing that, we can start to realize what we're actually worried about, and we can start to put strategies in place to overcome these things. Now, it's not easy and it's not as simple as that, but these are ways we can, by writing about this, by reflecting, and actually, once again, being honest, we can start to come to terms with it. By using third person or using actual past experience in your life, you can start to deal with some of these rational and irrational fears by working out exactly what the reason is and how you have dealt with things like this in the past, and knowing that you can actually get through it. And so writing about it and reading about it can often really help. The next little one I like to do is journaling for decision making. And this can boil down to something as simple as a pro-con list. But a lot of what it can do is that, once again, like a brain dump, it can help you realize exactly what you're wanting to do. And you can make decisions in this process by seeing it on the paper in front of you. As I said, often it's as simple as a pro or con list. But by realizing what you really want and how you can make that happen, and the steps in place, there's once again strategies and steps to actually make these things happen, decisions can be made easier and also sort of less stressful. And then you've always got somewhere to go back to when you start to doubt yourself. You can look back and you can see where you are on your path. You can see where you are, in the process of making these things a reality, or even in the process of making the decision itself, because some of these decisions are long-term decisions. And quite often I find in my own personal journaling, I tend to write about things and come back and go back and forth a little bit until I make a big decision like this. Then the last thing that's really useful for journaling is for productivity. Now, this can be, once again, something like the bullet journal system, but making lists, creating projects so that you can see where you are, tracking your habits, all these kinds of things. It provides clarity, it keeps you focused, and these are really great ways that you can keep on track for the work you are doing and for, once again, for the decisions you need to make, to relieve anxiety. It's all really important, and it's a great way, once again, having something on paper. And it doesn't even have to be physically written like in a notebook. It can be on the computer. I tend to find writing by hand, I process things in a different way. I remember things in a different way. And so having a list, a to-do list, a sequential list of tasks related to a project just keeps you on track, and it stops you stressing about the end goal because you can see yourself making progress. Productivity is really important, and being productive and using your time efficiently so that you can actually enjoy your life and enjoy the things you do, and therefore, once again, it's relieving stress. These are really useful ways to manage that. So, as I said, this is my personal reasons for journaling and how I journal and why I journal and how I have found it useful. There's so many resources about this. You can learn so much. I've been journaling for quite a while, for years. Even back into my teens, I was writing, simple like Dear Diary kind of, today I did this, today I did that. I've been keeping the Some Lines, book for the last 5 years. I can see how I'm progressing. I can see how my life is changing. I can see where my career is going. But I also help to try and manage my stress by doing this and my anxiety and, allowing myself to be human, but to be able to see where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I hope you find journaling useful, and if you do, I would love to know what you do to make your life easier by doing this. So drop things in the comment, you can get in touch with me or find me on social media, all those kinds of things. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you've got any questions or comments, as I said, drop in the comments below. Or if you'd like to get in touch with me about where you can support this channel, I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.